Hi, good morning, everyone. It's Louisa from Canada. It's Friday, February the 20th, last day of the week. Freaky Friday. We had a big move from London last night, 200 points. Asia moved up overnight, and then London took the high or the manipulation a little bit later than anticipated. I think it was around 4, just checking, 4:15. The manipulation happened at 4:15, which is a little bit later than anticipated, but sometimes that happens. And then we had a big movement down. So let's see, 25,000 down to 24,750. So that was a big, that's 2 nights in a row that Asia, Asia and London had a good move. I think London is the star of the show this week. So we have a lot of news this morning. We have some backdated news. So we've already had the release of advanced GDP quarter over quarter. So last month was, or last quarter was 4.4, anticipating 2.8, and came in lower than anticipated at 1.4%. Core PCE anticipated at 0.3%, came in a little bit higher, 0.4%. Advanced GDP price index quarter over quarter, anticipating or forecasted 2.8%, and came in at 3.6. Personal income month over month, stable. Nobody's getting a raise. Personal spending month over month is stable. Forecasted at 0.4%, spending 0.4%. So what we have to look forward to is 9:45, we have flash manufacturing. We have flash services PMI. These are red folder events at 9:45. And then we also have kicked over. We have new home sales at 10 a.m. And we also have new home sales, which was November data. So I think that was the delay, that was caught in the delay when the government or the feds were um, not releasing those numbers. So that's been added on. So 10 a.m. there's quite a bit. Revised consumer sentiment always seems to get a rise out of the market as well. So there's a lot happening this morning. So 9:45 and 10 a.m. I've put those on my chart just to remind me. And what I'm looking at this morning or this week is this SIBI level here. Let's just look on the hourly. So what I'm looking at here is this SIBI has been holding price up all week, as we can see. And then this morning, we've dipped a little further into it. If this SIBI does not hold, then we're looking at going down to this BISI, and this is our last sort of line of defense before sell side down here. So this is an important level, this pink SIBI here, and this has been responsible for the support pretty much all week of price. So this is really what I'm watching, and considering we had a big move overnight, plus we have news this morning, wouldn't be surprised to see some chop this morning. Anytime we have a big move in the previous session, we can experience where it's not unexpected to experience some chop, and particularly because we have these announcements at 10 o'clock and then at 9:45 and then 10 o'clock. So anyway, so no rush this morning. I just want to get a feel for the market, and then uh, I'll be watching this level to see if we lose this level. If we lose this level, then I'm anticipating a draw down towards sell side. So anyway, that's the plan for me for today. Notice also last night, remember when we had this kind of price movement here on Thursday? This was the only like decent movement on Thursday, this movement down, and this movement down created these two SIBIs. And yesterday, I was kind of hoping that price would get up into this one before dropping lower, but it didn't. It waited till the overnight, and in the overnight, we saw this push up into this area of inefficiency. And so that was kind of nice to see. So we tapped into there. Now, price could this morning, we never know exactly what price will do, but price could push up. I'm not sure how likely that is, but it could push up into these areas here that were not swept this week. So we have some unfinished business up here. And then above that we have some more unfinished business, but that's these two areas here. I'm not sure we'll get up there. I think the drawn liquidity is far more attractive down here, given the flexion of the market to the downside. So we had the buy side coming up, and we're in the sell side at this point of the market maker model. So hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. And again, just exercise some patience this morning, and we'll see what the market wants to show us. Definitely, we had some movement in the market yesterday that was a little bit later in the morning, and then the afternoon. This movement happened in the afternoon. This was quite a nice movement up, and then it just continued Asia into London, and then we've had the movement down. So anyway, that's where we are. So it was a beautiful smart money reversal in London at 4:14, 4:15 last night. I was not awake for it, unfortunately, but it was a nice textbook smart money reversal with all the characteristics of a good A plus setup. I hope you guys are all doing good. Maybe just throw into the comment section what country you're dialed in from. I'm here in Canada. We're expecting a humongous storm today. So I was out early this morning with my dog, getting some good exercise and fresh air before the market opens this morning, as I always do. It just puts my head in the right space. Nice fresh air and a good pace, a good walking pace this morning. Really, it sets me up for huge success. Hi, Poltersnack. Good morning. So, yeah, so that's kind of where we are. Yes, Poltersnack, I say I haven't been to Germany yet. It's on my bucket list. Like I love Europe. It's like my definitely my favorite place to travel to. Been to France, Italy, of course the UK, London. I've been through Bali, Iceland. I've been to Iceland, but I haven't been to Germany yet. Okay. So are you in the north? Are you must be in the guessing in the northern part of Germany? I just saw this morning that the avalanches in Italy reached like unbelievable highs this year. They've had like the most avalanches this year that they've ever had. And it's not too far from the Olympics. Anyway, just the environment, I guess, is maybe it has something to do with the way that the snow is melting through the spring, and we had a ton of snow here in Canada this year. Like we had a heavy, heavy year. So anyway, I don't know what's going on, but so just you're from the south. Oh, okay. Yeah, you're still in the northern hemisphere there. Just watching this level here, Poltersnack, this SIBI here. This is the last line of defense. Pretty much the last line of defense. before, basically before the sell side becomes extremely attractive. And I'm just looking here on the daily. This candle, this wick here, ES and NQ have already taken out this low, and YM has not. So YM is moving further towards this line. This is on the daily here. Once YM takes this out, then all three indices are aligned and we can look for lower prices potentially. So I'm watching that. Beautiful move overnight by London, 200 points. It was a beautiful setup. I missed it. Manipulation was a little bit later. It was 4:14 or 4:15. But it was a beautiful smart money reversal setup. It was classic textbook. So that's 2 nights in a row. That was two really nice trades from London this week. So NQ has just taken previous day low. So NQ has just taken previous day low, and YM, where am I here? YM and ES have not. So we have a divergence here, although I am bearish today. Culture Schnack, where would I have gotten in? Yeah, so let's take a look at it. We've got some time here, I think. So let's just take a look at, let's start on the 5-minute. So Asia on the 5-minute, Asia trended rather than ranged. Like again, you know, I keep saying this, but I like to see Asia do this, you know, roughly this, but it didn't. It went from A to B. So normally when Asia goes from A to B, I would not anticipate a London trade, but in this case, it was a beautiful setup. So Asia basically just went up all evening. And then what made this another A plus setup as the previous night is that when London came into this higher time frame SIBI, which it did the night before. So if we just look to the night before, here we go. Here's Asia trended up right into this higher time frame PD array. That is always a plus plus setup. That's what you want to see. So it's not just taking the Asia high, but it's actually tapping into the higher time frame. So it's the exact same setup as the night before. Okay, so this is what it looks like on the 5-minute. We can see here that the swing high candle was at 420, so it was quite a bit later. So we anticipate manipulation anytime after 2:30, but generally speaking, by 4 a.m., if we haven't seen manipulation, then there would be no trade for me. But last night we had delayed manipulation. It was 420. And congratulations to anyone who took this trade because it was beautiful. So here on the 5-minute, you can see the basic setup. But if we go down to the, let's go down to the 2-minute, and we see just a few more details. So here's our Asia high. So price made a nice push up into this SIBI here. And of course, this is during London time. So here we get traditionally what looks like chop, but for those of us who trade smart money reversals, we know that this is price setting up for a reversal. So this is why it's important to not enter too early so that you don't get caught up in this, you know, chop, chop, chop. People say don't try to trade the top or don't try to predict the top. And that's, I think, because of impatience by traders because they get caught in this. They think this is the high, they think this is the high. But when we're looking for 6 characteristics of a smart money reversal, that gives us a little more preparation for the reversals. So let's just do this then on the 2 minute because we have more detail. The other characteristic to notice here is that when IPTA is nearing its uh, destination, let's just call it point B because price moves from point A to point B. As it nears its destination, we generally see big, long candles, strong candles coming into its area, a destination or area of interest. So price did exactly that. It was price came down. So we had a nice wick here. Price came down. Now this was at 410. So if you're watching this, you might think, okay, well that might be the high, but you got to give it some time. So price pushed up into the SIBI. We had what looks like chop, but we know that this is the smart money buying, selling, buying, selling, buying, selling, taking stop losses, right? So that's what's happening here. Then we have a nice push down. So let's just put on the 2 minute. And again, you don't need to be the first one to the party. So here is the BISI. Here's the BISI. It starts as a BISI and then it ends up as an inverted fair value gap. And then on this side, we have our SIBI here. If we went down to the 1 minute, which I won't right now, but we'd probably find a fair value gap a little higher up, but let's just stay on the 2 minute for now. Change in the state of delivery would be, this is the push up, this green candle here. So change in the state of delivery. What I would probably do is go down to the 1 minute, look for the change of the state of delivery to find something a little bit closer. So let's just do that. Okay, so got way more detail. You see, if you just look at this, if you try and find a trade on the 1 minute, you see how like sometimes overwhelming it can be because there's so much price action. But I want to find change in the state of delivery a little sooner. So here's our candle at 4:23, which is very late, but whatever. This is the push up. So the candle that precedes it is this one here. This is the change in the state of delivery on the 1 minute. Make that a little bit bigger here. Changing the state of delivery on the 1 minute. So let's just adjust then everything to the 1 minute. Here is our SIBI. And then our fair value gap on this side is here. That's our SIBI. This is our BISI, which turns into our inverted fair value gap. So you can see that we have a balanced price range here. Now let's look for the breaker. So we have high, oh, oh, no, 1 second. High, low, yeah, here we go. High, low, higher, high, lower, low, somewhere down here. So we have our change in the state of delivery. We have our inverted fair value gap. So now we see the breaker. So we're going to pull our inverted fair value gap over. Okay, dude. So pull the inverted fair value gap over. So price comes up into the inverted fair value gap. Price comes up to make a higher high, comes down, comes up one more time. So this is an extra one. Remember, it's never going to be perfect. Moves below and then comes into the inverted fair value gap. So what we want to see here, we don't just blindly take the trade. We want to see bearish candles. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Donald. Oh, that's okay. We're just going over the trade from London last night because it was a 200-point move, the exact same setup as the night before. So I can't remember who it was yesterday in the chat that said they entered a little bit too early and we took a look at London. I hope he or she, I don't know who it was, saw the exact same setup last night. Okay, so here's our inverted fair value gap. Price comes in. So here is on the 1 minute, you could enter here. But again, I'm going to say you don't need to be the first one to the party. So after that, we have all of these SIBIs that start to form. So we have on the 1 minute, we have this one. Now we can see that when the candles are dropping like this quickly, we don't get movement back up into the fair value gaps. You have to wait a little bit till the candles slow down. And so here is an opportunity to get in. Here was a good opportunity to get in, or you just move to the higher time frames. Like the 1 minute there's a lot happening on the 1 minute, but even on the 5 minute, I saw the setup on the 5 minute and it was clear as day. So now what we're doing, and this is the beauty of IPTA. This is just what keeps me coming back to the markets because I love it so much. So once we come on the sell side of the market, so this is the sell side of the market here, right? This is the sell side of the market, and this is the buy side of the market. This is the buy side of the market here. So now all we're going to do, because everybody says to me, how do you know where your terminus is? Well, you could take Asia low as your terminus, but what I like to do is I'm looking on the buy side of the curve. This is the buy side of the curve, and I'm just following the PD arrays. So as long as price is respecting the PD arrays, let me make this like a different color here. As long as price is respecting the PD arrays, just watching the time, but we got so much news this morning. So let's make this, what color? Orange. Let's make it orange. So as long as price is using the PD arrays from the buy side of the market maker model and price comes in and keeps rejecting off of these, then I'm going to continue to stay in the trade. I mean, obviously I have some idea where I want to go, which would be Asia low. Like that's on my radar, but how do you get from here to Asia low and how do you remain confident to stay in the trade? That's the question, right? So you're just following. And as price is dropping, you're using this like a staircase. And then this would be Asia low here. That's a long way down. This is second stage distribution right through here. So you get this little choppy chop. Don't let this throw you off. You get this choppy chop. This is second stage distribution. And usually after second stage and third stage distribution, you see a big push. And that's what we see here. So let's say we didn't get into the trade up here. You can anticipate the second stage distribution and then enter somewhere below here, just knowing we're gonna go lower fast. Then we have a little bit of a pullback, then we have another push down, then we have a little bit of a pullback, push down. And then this morning, so we made it to Asia low. That was just from top to bottom. So that was, let's call that 25,000 and down to Asia 24,824. So 225 points. Hey, that's not a bad way to start the day. Anyway, that was London. So London has been, the latter part of this week has been pretty good. There were 3 good trades out of London this week. Sunday night was one. So let's just quickly take a look just to give the higher time frame perspective here. Let me just show you this. Let's just go to the 15-minute for a second. just to give you perspective here. So here's last night. Asia, London up into the Sibby, beautiful sell-off. Look at the night before. Asia ranges up into the Sibby, London takes it, beautiful sell-off into New York open. Night before, Asia was just moving up, and then London had a continuation up, and then the morning continued up to make a high for the week. Day before, Asia came down. London did nothing. Remember, what day was that? That was like Monday. That was that kind of like garbagey day. This just kind of hacked around here, nothing much. It took Asia low, and then it actually went lower. And then Sunday, Asia ranged, London took the high, and we got that sell-off. So when the market is in a buy mode, or sorry, excuse me, in a sell, it's where it's selling off, we're looking for lower prices, we can anticipate Asia ranging higher, London taking the high, and then making the lows. So that was 3 really good trades off of London this week. Anyway, that's why I think it's so important to take a look and see what happens in the overnight, because it really is it's really a look into what we can anticipate the next morning in New York AM. Anyway, just wanted to chat through that. So here's our big distribution candle. So that manipulation was at 414, 415. And then this has been the distribution. And then we can see on the 1 hour candles, it's been nothing but distribution down. So we're coming through, we're below the 50% of this important range here. And this is the last defense, really, before market sort of gives up the goods. So we can see, like the last time we were here, we came down and we've got sell side below us here, which manifested from here. So that's what I'm looking at. Now we have a lot of news this morning, so we did see a continuation from London yesterday into New York AM. And first we had a little bit of a move higher, but ultimately the play of the day was the sell. And then it's setting up to kind of look to be a fairly similar platform this morning. So we've got 10 a.m. Sorry, we've got 9:45 news flash manufacturing, and then at 10 a.m. we've got New York, new home sales. And that is some data that is from November that was not released at that time because of I guess it was like the strike, that time frame where data was not being released. Polterschnack, I love trading London. Like, I'll just tell you that. I find London super, super clean. And I think it was December that there was very few opportunities in London compared to New York. So it kind of goes in, fits and spurts kind of thing. But this week, last night was 200 points. The night before was, I don't know, 150 points. And then Sunday night was at least 150 points. So the key is that when a session taps into a higher time frame PD array and takes out a previous session high, that is a high probability setup. So that's why I'm always tracking London and Asia. These are just beautiful, easy setups. You need to be patient. Like rather than watching this on the 1 minute, watch it on the 5 minute, right? Because on the 1 minute, you're watching every little candle go up. Oh, is that a wick up? Is that the high? Like you need to have a little bit of patience and just know that once that run starts, you don't need to be the first one in to grab a nice 50, 75 points. You don't need to catch the whole banana. You don't need to catch 200 points. I like catching 200 points, but you don't have to, right? You just need the middle section. So 9:33, big push up. I'm just going to stay on the 5 minute for now. I'll go down to the 2 minute and 1 minute shortly, but I just want to see. So we had a wick down into the BISI here. So we have come on NQ. NQ and ES. We've taken out the previous day low. YM has taken out the previous day low. Got Asia low. So if Asia high here, we've already taken out. London moved down. We'll be taking out the AM highs. We do have these 1 hour civvies up here that were created from Thursday. Again, we've got manufacturing at 9:45, so that's in about 9 minutes. I wonder if price is reaching for finish some unfinished business up here. This is the AM high. So for me, AM starts at 7 a.m. All three indices took previous day low. So again, the same question as I asked everyone yesterday is if you took that London short, and let's say you had 200 points in the bag by the time New York AM opened, would you stay in the trade thinking or hypothesizing that price, there would be a continuation? Because you'd have to ride through this discomfort of price moving up here. I mean, ultimately, yesterday price did drop, so you'd have to, your stop loss would have to be, I don't know, 100 points. I just USA. Oh, good for you. I tell you, the first presented fair value gap is good, eh? Let's just take a look where that is. Right here. So we're up into the SIBI. So London took out liquidity from sort of the 25% here, and then we can see that price made a run for the top 25% of this SIBI. And on the 1 minute, change in the state of delivery. See, these runs, it's tough because we don't really have a change in the state of delivery that is up here unless you're on the 15-second or 30-second. It's a small fair value gap that had a change in the state of delivery at 9:32. 32. Well, good on you, Just USA. That's a good trade. That first presented fair value gap is gold. Let's see if we can hit these SIBIs up here that price did not want to go for yesterday. That would take us above midnight and then maybe set us up for a nice short. Previous day high is up here. Will price reverse? Well, question we have to ask is where's IPTA going? Where's smart money going? So it wants to take price higher if it's going to go lower. So we got 9:45 news and then we have 10 a.m. news. So on the 1 hour, we have unfinished business here with these SIBIs. And then the previous day SIBI's way up here, but I'm not sure if price is going to get way up here, but who knows? But there's unfinished business from yesterday. Previous day high, and these SIBIs here. So we'll wait and see. I always want to sell above midnight and buy below midnight. So let's see the impact of the news this morning. We had a big move in London last night. So I wouldn't be surprised this morning that we might see some chop with the news, excuse me, with the news release. We might see some chop. Do any of you guys follow Aval, the trader named Aval? AV, I'll just spell his name here. If you guys are interested, you can check him out this weekend. So this kid trades very similarly to how I trade and how Justin Werlin trades. And so he always waits for the 10 a.m. candle to open. He never takes a trade before that 10 a.m. candle opens. And anyway, he just graduated high school last year, but he makes between like 145 to 200,000 per month. He has 40 accounts that he trades, and he just waits for that 10 a.m. candle to open, and then he just goes for base hits like 300, 500 just off that 10, off that 10 a.m. candle. He's patient. He just waits. So he looks for purge of liquidity, change in the state of delivery, and then he just takes one trade, $300 to $500 across 40 accounts. Anyway, you guys should look him up. His name is Abal. He is just a really nice kid. He always shows his proof of, just, and he has just a very simple way of trading and simple rules. Anyway, I just thought I'd share him with you today because I do talk about Scarface and Justin Weirlin and Solomon King. But Aval is, anyway, if you haven't checked him out, check him out. He's kind of like low key under the radar. He just seems to come from a nice family. His parents finally asked him to teach them how to trade. I think that's funny. Okay, so let's see if we can get 9:45. So I'm gonna take this off. So newsflash manufacturing is over. That was at 9:45. So let's just delete that. We still have new home sales at 10 a.m. and then I want to see what the 10 a.m. candle does. Of all, I'll link his YouTube channel in the description of this video. Just a very nice, super, super nice kid. I think he's been trading since he was 14, and he graduated high school last year. And, driving his, I don't think it was, I think it was a, I don't know if he had a Porsche or a Lambo, but in his final year of high school, like he's very low key. He's teaching his younger brother who's still in high school how to trade. And he does offer a mentorship. I don't know what it costs, but if I've already had 2 mentorships. I don't need any more mentorships, but if I were a new trader, um, there's something about him and his kind of like no nonsense, very simple mechanical strategy that he just repeats day after day. There's something very nice about the way he trades. But anyway, if you're interested, like if you haven't taken a mentorship with someone yet, and I trust me, I'm not benefiting from telling you this. I'm just saying that there's something really nice about this kid, and he's just mature way beyond his years, but super nice kid. He reminds me of Scarface, and I don't think I've seen him on any of the, like interview shows or anything, and yet he's wildly successful. Yeah, Aval, Aval, I think. Yeah, entered first for value gap for any. Okay. SMT formed on the 1 hour and 90 minutes. What do you think now? Will price reverse? Maybe. So we've taken out, let's just go to the 1 minute. We haven't got up here yet. Why would price suddenly stop here? I mean, it could, but why would it? Why wouldn't it go for change in the state of delivery? High, low, higher, high, lower, low. CB, inverted fair value gap. Our breaker is here. So let's see if price wants to come. So let the displacement happen. See if price wants to come back in and then fall. We haven't taken liquidity from here. 10 o'clock candle has not opened. Hi, XMT. Internal range manipulation. So let's remember that when that 10 o'clock candle opens, if price is going to go low, first we're going to see open high, low close, right? So we're going to see the candle open and potentially go higher before it goes lower if we're expecting lower prices. So I'm not rushing in here. I'm going to wait for the 10 a.m. candle, the news release. I'm suspicious that these two hourly SIBIs here would be left untouched. And I'm not giving advice, guys. This is for entertainment purposes only. I'm an ICT student, and I don't encourage anybody to trade because it's a highly risky type endeavor. We've got previous day high up here as well. I have a weekly and daily SMT to the downside. And that's on the 1 hour. We've taken out the previous day low across all three indices. I like the displacement down. Good morning, Sharka. I want to see that 10 o'clock candle open. I want to see if we push a little bit higher into the breaker and potentially into these areas here, but it doesn't have to. But I'm waiting for the 10 a.m. candle to open. Could just rip up. We're always going to feel a jump on that 10 a.m. candle opens, right? Because it's got to be open, low, high, close, or open, low, high, close. So either way, there's that jump. So if you enter before the 10 a.m. opens, depending where your stop loss is, you could get hit. So that always, to me, that 10 a.m. Uh, open is really important. See, look at that. Oh my God, it hasn't opened yet, but that 10 a.m., just let the 10 a.m. open. I'm going to take out this red line here because we know news is releasing now. So 10 a.m. So let's take a look. Is it going to zip up? There. That's why we don't enter too early. So just take out all of this stuff. This is liquidity up here, guys. So it would be really weird for smart money to not want to access this. It'd be really weird to want to reverse from below these two areas here. Previous day high. What's above? These SIBIs here. Previous day high. Have we taken out previous day high here? Yep, we've taken out previous day high there. YM has not taken out previous day highs, so we have a divergence there. Yeah, Sharka, again, when those 4 hour candles switch over, and even the 1 hour, always anticipate a jump. You know, there's nothing more annoying than entering a trade just before a 4 hour candle opens, and then that open high, low close, or open low, high close takes you out of the trade. Okay, so we've taken previous day high, and NQ has not. Let's see if we can build something here. We wicked right up into this hourly SIBI here. And this is the high of the week from Wednesday. We haven't taken the high of the week. Is that the high of the week? No, that is not the high of the week. Yes, it is the high of this week. This is where you want the 15-second and 30 seconds. Notice how Smart Money has brought price all the way back up here, and we know on the higher time frame, as I mentioned this morning, where sell side is. We know how far down sell side is. So we've got our one SIBI here, changing the state of delivery. Inverted fair value gap. Big push up, big push down, changing the state of delivery down here. Let's see if we can get some more structure built. It's 10:09. We're coming to the end of the first macro, but let's see if we can get some structure built. There may be some price distortion. There could be. And then that 10:45 macro. might deliver a distribution. We took London high, took the previous day high, except for YM. So we do have a divergence. We have a very nice divergence, actually. I don't want to enter too early here because this could set up to be a nice reversal. So this is a situation that if we had stayed in the trade from last night, we would have lost all our profits. How would that make you feel to lose 200 points? Thinking that New York Open would be like a continuation down. I think in that situation, you'd have to be pyramiding out, and then, this is another opportunity to get in for lower prices. Let's see if it wants to push up and take this high again. Change in the state of delivery is here for now. But for the breaker, we have high, low, higher, high. We didn't really get a lower low. We didn't get like a good strong push below this low. Ten AM candle, open, low, high. We've taken these. So here we are on the higher time frame. We've swept all of this up here, but remember, London was up here. So London swept this. Anything below here, London's already swept this. So we've swept this, which was Thursday's high, and price could take out Wednesday's high and maybe take out the top portion of this SIBI. Don't know yet. Or it could want to reverse from here. $10.02. I would want to see a good strong movement break below change in the state of delivery here. On the 15-second or 30-second, it's possible that there's a mitigation block here. We just can't see it on the 1 minute. So price made a nice strong movement down, back up, but I want to see, I need to see it come below change in the state of delivery, create a fair value gap. I want to see us come back into that fair value gap before dropping further, and I'm waiting for the next macro. On the daily, see the nice divergence here? YM has not taken previous day high. Other two have. Let's see this crack the change in the state of delivery. All the buyers that stepped in here at the change in the state of delivery, all these buyers have stops below here. Price is gonna price is gonna come down. It's gonna take out all these stops, come back into the range hopefully, and then drop lower. Or price could just continue up and take out more liquidity first. But we have the same mitigation area here on ES, and we have a nice big SMT on the daily. Remember that this is previous day high here, so there's traders up here who have positioned themselves short, right? So there's going to be stops above here. So just think about smart money just being, the jerk that it is. It could come up, it could take everybody's stop here and then come down. So just think about like how smart money accesses liquidity in order for them, because they're buying millions of contracts, right? So they can't just buy a million contracts at the same price. They have to keep taking stops, taking people out of their positions in order to buy their contracts at lower prices. So it helps to kind of think about that in context when you're looking for a setup. Like where is smart money going to get their stops from to be able to buy at lower prices? or in this case, sell. So this area here, once, twice, three times, equal lows, could be supporting higher prices. And here's our 10 o'clock candle. Here's our open. This black line shows the open. So open high, could be low, and then close somewhere here. Remember, here's the sell side. And we've already come through this morning. We've already pushed through this really important SIBI here that's been holding prices up so far. So to come up to possibly take out liquidity here and then drop down into sell side would be attractive for smart money. So far, we are making lower highs, but we are not making lower lows. So we need to see this change in the state of delivery. We need to see weakness in here. Again, between the macros, you get price distortion, which is what we're seeing here, right? Between those macros, once that macro opens, we want to see either continuation or a smart money reversal. The range that has formed 9:30 to 10:02, every retracement lower is bouncing at equilibrium. To 10:02. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Exactly. So think about what a breaker block does, right? You come up, you push price higher. Everybody thinks, okay, we're above previous day high. I'm going to go long here. So they've got stops in here. So it's likely we're going to go higher. We're going to take out these stops for sure. Well, not for sure. Nothing's for sure. But we've come down this area here. This is the change in the state of delivery, and we would want to see a really strong movement below. We want to see that IPTA now is committed to going somewhere. But in order for them to buy millions of contracts at the lowest possible price, and I'm talking about selling, right? They have to take out all these stops from all these retail traders. They can't they can't buy 10 million contracts at $2. They buy at $1.99, $2, $2.01, $2.02, right? Like that's how they're purchasing. So they have to keep taking out stops as people get taken out of their position. Those contracts become available at a cheaper price. So that's just like something that I think about, right? As I think about when I'm trading, like what makes sense here. And I love the fact that we have a daily SMT, beautiful SMT here. Here's Wednesday's high for the week. And on the hourly, this is the SIBI from this push higher. So we've already cleared above this SIBI. We've taken liquidity from there. We now have a 10-minute SMT between ES and NQ. Patience. Patience, patience, patience. Anyone who positioned themselves short above these two equal highs have just been taken out of their trade. Let's see if we're going to go for previous day high again for the traders who have positioned themselves above previous day high. I wish I could see what's between here and here. Back into the inverted fair value gap. Will price use this as support, or will it come through? this new week opening gap just above these equal highs here from previous day high. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, Andrea. I'm waiting for the 1045. I'm waiting for the 1045 macro. I think we could take one more push above this previous day high because lots of traders have positioned themselves above here, either to go long or short. So I think that Smart Money is going to do another push, and it doesn't have to, but that's what Smart Money does, right? You position yourself and then it rips your face off, especially near the highs, right? That's why you have to be patient and you just have to wait for that confirmation. And for me, the confirmation is look at this change in the state of delivery. It is just like XMT, you know, made that observation that this is a key level here. And so I want to see this key level broken with displacement. Like I want to see something strong. We had that big move down from London. So I'd like to see one more push above here. We're also psychologically at an important number. We're at 25,000, right? The whole numbers are uh, very attractive to IPTA. 25,000, 26,000, 25,500. Like the whole round numbers are very attractive. We're just inside this range. We have not made a higher high. We haven't broken this one, but we haven't made a lower low. We're bouncing inside this range. This higher high was broken by this higher high. This one did not make a higher high. Here's the AM1, AM2, we're in AM3, so accumulation, manipulation, distribution. We're going to take another run. Next macro started. Taking out the stops of anyone who was positioned here to go short. Taking out the stops, SMT. So now we have a real divergence because YM has moved down and ES and NQ are still on an upper trajectory. It's been mild the last two days, so all the ice and snow has started to melt, which is it makes it walking really treacherous. But we are in for a huge storm starting later today. It's going to be massive. It is freezing rain, snow, like it's going to be huge. We've been kind of waiting for it all week. So anyway, it's going to start later today. So I'll let you know on Monday if we survived. I went out and bought like groceries yesterday because we might be holed up for a couple days. So notice the price distortion between the macros. Wow, okay. Just USA, didn't you guys just have that huge avalanche in Northern California yesterday? Where 11 people were buried? I think 6 were rescued. Was that I think that was Northern California. California is such a big state. I don't know where you are exactly in California, but big push up. Holy cow. Yeah, Sharka, that That Jadecap 1 hour, he calls it a failed swing high or failed swing low. I've looked at it too. Like it's that's why I threw it out there for anyone who doesn't have a strategy yet, because that's it's worth just kind of putting on your radar and watching. So here is the new week opening gap now. We're entering the new week opening gap. Wednesday is high. This is the week's high. Yeah, exactly, Sharka. And like Jadecap says, like on the hourly candle, just stay in for 2 or 3 candles, right? You just have to have your stop loss safely protected. But you know what? You can go with really small contract size. You can even just go with 1 micro and just let that thing run for 100, 150 points. And for someone like you, busy lady, you don't have to babysit it. You just um, put your stop loss in, take profit, and maybe start pyramiding out at the 50%. Like take some profit, and then just kind of monitor it on a higher time frame. I'd put it on like a 15-minute time frame and just monitor it. Well, this has taken out just a ton of liquidity, taking out the high from Wednesday on a Friday. Wow. Exactly. And that's what Jadecap says. It runs for 2 or 3 candles on the hourly. 100%. And what he does is he's just the night before, he just marks out all the swing highs and swing lows on the hourly and then just waits for, you know, the following morning for one of those to be run out, like maybe one on the previous day high or low, previous session high or low. It's not going to work all the time, but nothing does, right? But for someone who is busy like yourself, maybe you can't be at the charts all the time. It's, that higher time frame is where it's at. Okay, so we are just taking out this week's, or just kissing this week's high. And the other thing, Sharka, is it's a little less, it's not like the price action isn't as fast as trading the 10-minute opening range gap or that first 10-minute candle from Scarface, right? Yeah, good risk management, because when it doesn't work, you might lose 40 points or so on your stop loss, but if it works well, 60% of the time. I think he said that 60 to 70% success in that. Now, mind you, like he's been trading for 10 or 12 years, right? Like, but anyway, it's something to watch. It's something to watch for on the charts. And, you know, maybe play around with it in sim or something, right? Like play around with it and do some back testing on it and see what works for you. New week opening gap, previous day high, and just just touching the week's high right here, Wednesday. So Wednesday, yeah. Well, I may definitely be coming back at 2 a.m. waiting for this thing to reverse. Let's take a look. Right here at 25,450. This is a key level on the daily time frame. William, this is a key level on the daily time frame. This is the area that I've had on my chart for weeks and weeks and weeks. So this is where IPTA constantly is being drawn to, right? Test, test, test. This fell short, came down. It could. We have unfinished business up here. It's important to keep these SIBIs and BISIs on your chart so that you've got a target. This is previous month high. But in terms of today, would we get up there today? I'm not sure. Like that is 25.4 and we're at 25.120. Might be ambitious. Might be ambitious for today. Remember on the higher time frame, we have these big SMTs here. Even just filling this hourly SIBI here would be, you know, this is a big move up. I mean, we had this huge move down from London, right? More than 200 points, and then this huge move up this morning. But definitely, have these areas on your chart because, that's how we're figuring out where's price wanting to go. But we've just taken out this week's high. We've just tapped into that. Let's just see here, this candle. This is the high on this candle. So I'm just reading the prices up here. So on this candle, the high is 25,127.50, and this one is the high is 25,139.75. 139. So we just took out the high. See, if you place your cursor on the candle, you can read what the high is of this candle. So this candle's high from this week, 25,127.50, and this one, the high is 25,139.75. So we've taken out this week's high. the high of the day may be in. High, low, higher, high, lower, low. Bearish breaker. It's hard to see any like sibbies or bissies in this mess. This is probably the high of the day put in now that we've taken out this week's high, that this is the high of the week now. We've reached the end of our macro, which means that we're probably going to see we might see like some retracement back into the range, some pullbacks, but the next moves will be around 2 p.m. So I am going to come back at 2 p.m. because I do want to um, I do want a short, and I'm looking for a short. But I want to wait for some structure to build, and I think we're going to get some price distortion because it's made big moves up. We can see that price is getting weaker. We don't have any fair value gaps here. We see like smaller itty bitty candles. We've taken out this week's high. We've created a bearish breaker. Here's our change in the state of delivery. But it could bounce around until it's ready to until time intersects with price. So we have price, but we don't have time. So I'm going to wait for that 2 o'clock because I want to enter a nice clean trade. I don't want to be in high resistance liquidity. I want like a really nice trade. And on the indices, we have we have these SMTs set up, and we've got YM going down. We now have some movement down from ES and NQ, and we want to see all three indices moving in tandem together. I think this is the high of the day. And I'm keeping this area on my chart as a key equal lows level right here. 1052 had a small busy. Let's take a look. Very small, yeah. Good eyes. Right there. So again, I want to see some structure built. When we have a breaker block, so high, low, higher, high, lower, low, come back into the breaker, come down, and then let's just, this is a SIBI. This is a SIBI. This is a change in this, or inverted fair value gap. Let's see if this provides support or if price is moving through it. Again, it's 11:19, so this macro has closed. And again, in between macros, we can anticipate some price distortion. So I want to be patient. I think I've been patient all morning, but I want to be super patient because I want a nice clean. I think this is a very attractive area, and I think that smart money has done its job in pulling price up and taking out all of this liquidity. This 1 hour candle, open high, low, and then close somewhere. Let's see if this inverted fair value gap holds. I want to see price could come back into this breaker like 3 more times, 4 more times before price is ready to really drop. So nice displacement down. Would want to see price come back up, retest, and then drop. Well above midnight. If price could come back up and retest the change in the state of delivery and bearish breaker, my stop loss would go above this swing high, and it should be a protected swing high. Um, Probably not. Probably not Poltersnack, because I think I basically just keep my chart open because I have a big screen and I just kind of keep an eye on it, and I'm waiting for time to intersect with price for a fast move. Price always moves down faster than it moves up. A trade where I'm bouncing around for 2 hours because that's just not I don't like to be in those types of trades. So I want to wait for the next macro, and the lunch hour is a time where we can get a lot of price distortion, but I want to see a very intentional move back up into the range, stop loss above here, and then see how far down price wants to go. So, what's important is when we're trading smart money reversals, patience is the name of the game. If you rush in too early, you get your face ripped off on a reversal because price has been bullish all morning. So we really need to see for a smart money reversal, we need to see a foundation being laid that IPTA has reached its terminus point, and then we get this kind of like chatter, 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 and then we get a very firm reversal that IPTA is signaling to us that it's taken all that it needs to take in liquidity, and then it has a next destination. So from point A to point B, point of interest here, and then terminus being down here or even lower, potentially. And if you go back and take a look at London the last 2 evenings, you can see, even on the 1 minute, you can see like how much time it takes for these smart money reversals to take place. Like to just be patient and to just watch the PD arrays, what is supporting, what is acting as support, what is acting as resistance. This is acting, this inverted fair value gap now is acting as resistance. Thank you so much, Donald. The main thing is just to set up your trades. You only need 2 or 3 good trades a week. London, just London alone gave us 2 great trades this week, right? Just to be patient with those trades. Get your 200, 250 points from those trades. And you only need to do that a couple times a week. You know, you're not going to catch every trade, right? You're not going to catch every long, but 2 or 3 times a week to catch 100, 150, 200 points. When you know what you're looking for and you can be patient, that is a really nice way to trade. It's my preferred way to trade. Rather than taking 3, 4, 5 trades a day, you're having to journal all that. You know, you're taking three out of 5 of those trades are going to be losses. You're frustrated. It's taking it's just soul sucking. You know what I mean? It's soul sucking. Anyway, everybody's going to find their way to trade. And as I've said many times, I'm not a scalper. I'm waiting for good setups, and I'm waiting for good setups on the higher time frame. So I want to see price come back up into this range and then come down. That's what I'm waiting for. But we've probably put in the high of the day. And it usually around like 12 noon, somewhere around there, we can anticipate the high of the day. Tay sweets. Okay, guys, well, that's it for me. It's 11:30, and thanks for hanging out this morning. I hope that the tape reading is helpful. I hope that for any trader who has a tendency to rush into trades and regret taking trades, that this channel just provides some thoughtfulness in what to look for a high quality trade and to move away from that buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell regret kind of behavior. I think that, you know, lots of traders get into. And it's way easier to have 3 great trades, profitable trades, thoughtful, well thought out trades in a week versus 15 to 20. Try this, try this, try this, try this. And I know because I've been there. So, and to preserve your mental health and care for yourself, you know, having a bunch of losses and bad trades, it can suck the life out of you and it can leave you really mentally depleted. So I just encourage everybody to slow down, focus on the higher time frame, wait for your setup, know what your risk management is, know what your risk to reward needs to be on each trade, and calculate those numbers before you press that buy or sell button. That's what I encourage everybody to do, no matter which way you trade. It doesn't matter to me what you trade, but just to have that thoughtfulness, that maturity as a trader, to develop that maturity as a trader, because it's a way nicer way to trade. It's a way more relaxed way to trade. and more fulfilling in my very humble opinion. Have a great weekend, Sharka, and good luck with Jadecap's failed swing high and swing low. I think you're going to enjoy that. Okay, guys, that's it for me. I'll let you know if I catch short later today at the 2 o'clock. We'll see what happens. But if I do take a trade, I'll post it and I'll let you know. And otherwise, I'll be back next week and have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. It's Friday. And either study or take some time and go do something fun and get off the charts and give your heads a rest because you've all been at it for this entire week. So, anyway, that's it, guys. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you next week. Bye for now.